You know that machine, the Coca Cola Freestyle? You've probably used it 100 times, but I guarantee you have no idea what's really happening inside. See, it's not just a fancy soda fountain, it's a billion-dollar piece of tech. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see what makes it worth that kind of money. Let's do this.
So, picture it. You're at the movie theater, you've got your empty cup, and you walk up to that big, glowing red machine. You tap the screen, maybe you get a classic Coke, or maybe you get a little wild and add a shot of vanilla or cherry. It feels like a simple choice, right? You get your drink, and that's it. Or is it?
I mean, you walk away happy with your perfectly customized drink. But think about it. For giving you all that power, all that choice, what does a massive company like Coca Cola get in return? Turns out, it's something way, way more valuable than the few dollars you paid for that soda.
They get everything. They get your data, every single tap on that screen, every weird flavor combination you try, every single pour. It's a little piece of information. This machine isn't just serving you a beverage, it's studying you. It's a data-gathering superweapon, brilliantly disguised as a soda fountain. But why? Why go through all this trouble? Why spend $1 billion to reinvent something as simple as the soda fountain? Well, to get that, we have to rewind the clock to a time when Coca-Cola was in some serious trouble. For decades, soda sales just went up and up and up. It was a sure thing. But then, 2006 happened. For the first time since 1985, soda sales actually went down. People were changing. They wanted healthier options, more variety, and the clunky old fountains just weren't cutting it. Coke had a problem, and they needed a game changer. And I mean, just look at the difference here. It's night and day. On the left, that's the old way. These clunky machines with maybe 8 flavors, all coming from these huge, messy boxes of syrup. And get this, only 1% of them even had Diet Coke. It's crazy. Then you look to the right, the Freestyle. Over 100 options, all coming from these tiny, neat little cartridges. This wasn't just an upgrade, it was a total revolution. And this thing wasn't just a bigger box with more buttons. No, this was a legit technological masterpiece. They had it designed by Pininfarina. Yeah, the same company that designs Ferraris. But the real magic is what's on the inside. The tech that mixes your drink with such precision was actually inspired by medical devices like insulin pumps. So every single drink is a perfect custom-built creation just for you. So yeah, giving customers 100 choices solved one big problem. But honestly, that was just the cover story. The real reason for this billion-dollar project was something much, much bigger. All the cool tech, the Ferrari design, it's super impressive, right? But it all serves a much larger, much more strategic purpose. So what was Coca-Cola really trying to do with this massive investment? You have to stop thinking of the Freestyle as just a machine. It's an entire ecosystem. It's basically a giant global taste testing lab. And the clever part? It's disguised as a drink dispenser. So every time you use it, you're becoming a participant in Coca-Cola's biggest experiment ever. One writer absolutely nailed it. They said the machine collects data that turns customers into test subjects. Your pour isn't just a purchase anymore. It's a data point. You're actively, if unknowingly, helping them decide what new product to invent next. Okay, so it's a giant lab, cool concept, but how does it actually work? How does your choice in some random movie theater turn into a business strategy? Let's break it down. First, you have to understand the scale here. It's just insane. There are over 50,000 of these machines scattered all over the globe, and every single one of them is connected, constantly beaming real-time data back to Coca-Cola's central hub. So what you pour in a theater in Ohio can literally influence a decision being made in Atlanta seconds later. So here's how a new soda gets born. Let's say a whole bunch of people, totally independently, start mixing Sprite with a splash of cherry. The system sees this. It flags it as a hot trend. Coke gets the signal and can immediately fast-track development. And then, boom, what started as your little custom mix becomes Sprite Cherry, a real product you see on grocery store shelves. You literally helped create that. And the data doesn't just make new drinks. It makes the entire business run smarter. It can predict exactly what flavors are popular where, which optimizes their whole supply chain. Now, this chart is from a similar AI project they did, but the results are what matter. They cut down on restocking trips by 15% while increasing sales by 6%. They're spending less money to make more money. It's a data goldmine. And check this out. The data isn't a one-way street. It doesn't just flow from you. The marketers back at Coke headquarters can push campaigns directly to you. So around Halloween, the machine screen might suddenly feature a spooky new monster mix, nudging you to try it. It's a really subtle but super powerful way to influence what you choose. All right, let's talk about the price tag again. $1 billion. That is a staggering amount of money to spend on anything. So the big question is, was it worth it? Has this thing actually paid for itself? So how do you make back $1 billion? Well, it breaks down into a few key areas. First, you've got better profit margins. All this data helps them market smarter, which can boost margins by around 2%. On 4 billion drinks a year, that's about $160 million annually. Then you have the supply chain savings we just talked about. That's millions more. And finally, the home runs, the new products. A single hit flavor can bring in massive revenue. So you add all that up, and yeah, they've made their billion back, and then some. So we've covered the data on what you drank, but the story's not quite over. There is one final and kind of unsettling twist in this whole tale.
Let's just look at the breadcrumbs here. First, an official spec sheet for one of the freestyle models specifically mentioned a camera for facial recognition. Okay. Then, an AI company very briefly posted online about a project to use those cameras to detect customer demographics, like your age and gender. But when a reporter started asking about it, that post suddenly disappeared, vanished. Coca Cola's official statement, the cameras were only ever tested in a lab. The pieces are all there, but you can draw your own conclusions.
So the next time you step up to that glowing screen, just remember what's happening behind the scenes. You're not just picking a drink, you're casting a vote. You're part of a massive global focus group. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. In today's world, how much is your simple choice, how much is your data really worth?